I know that, and that's why I was thinking about that. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
There's no thought that there's old business on here.
They come
Just
sign the
old
front.
business.
You think they move them after they like that? Yeah.
Yeah, which is great.
I say, we're
Can you fix the date?
We're in Mac rooms now.
Oh.
I know, it's kind of I'm being the Mac
It's
rooms.
saved
They're
correctly.
not even all afterwards. All my classes are classroom.
I think they say just one line.
Oh yeah, always the end. I saw him walking.
We're going to call our weekly Senate meeting into order. Roll call and approval of policies.
Alarape.
Present.
Archer.
Here.
Cantz.
Here.
Dumont. Hernandez.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Yerke.
Here.
Keel.
Here.
Leonard.
Here.
Lockwood. Lockwood.
Here.
Count.
Here.
Nate.
Here.
Pilling. Seekman.
Here.
Tom.
Here.
Twing.
Here.
Weed.
Here.
Winter.
Here.
We have a
Fantastic. We sent out an agenda. I had the wrong date on it. I also got a section that said old business instead of unfinished business. I did that regardless. Nothing on our current agenda has changed in substance from the agenda that was sent out. So if we could approve that, all opposed, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, approval of minutes. We sent those out as well. There were two changes. We have a spelling error for Senator's last name, and we changed the date of the freshman elections to September 27th instead of 22nd, as it was written in there. So those are the only two changes. Unanimous consent. All opposed. All in favor. Great. We don't have any open floor guests. We do, however, have unfinished business from last week. Committee appointments. I'm not going to reread this whole thing. I'm just going to point out the two changes that occurred. We no longer have Senator Cooley on here, and we have moved Senator Nake to the PR committee from GR. Those are the only changes. I think the sooner we can just get this passed, the sooner we can all start being productive members of Senate in committee.
Any questions for President Kessinger on this?
So will I get like you first?
You will.
Okay.
For packing.
Okay.
And then we also will have to appoint a new senior senator as well. So yeah, yes.
Any other questions? Fantastic. Any seconds? Seconded by Senator Alarape. All right. Roll call vote. Alarape.
Aye.
Archer.
Aye.
Cantz.
Aye.
Hernandez.
Aye.
Carter.
Aye.
Yerke.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Leonard.
Aye.
Lockwood.
Aye.
McCallum.
Aye.
Knight.
Aye.
Seekman.
Aye.
Tome.
Aye.
Twing.
Aye.
Weed.
Aye.
Winter.
Aye.
Passes.
Resolution passes. Fantastic. Open discussion. You want to mention senior senator?
Yes, yeah. So seeing as we have one senior senator opening position, I discussed with two possible candidates this week. One person backed out this morning. The other candidate said that they were all in favor of doing this. In fact, they told me they think it would be fun. So next week we'll be having a senior senator by the name of Isaac Nedved joining us. So yes, so
Yeah.
that's my news for. So we should have full senior senator positions
Yeah.
filled finally.
Exactly. Also, I'll touch on this later. There's going to be a Google form going out for ad hocs. There's also going to be a section on that form where you're supposed to put your name. If you don't put your name on the section, I don't know who wrote their response. So yeah. In addition to that, we have parking committee. Parking appeals committee. Is there anybody that's interested in parking appeals committee?
I show up
Can you just, for the name, senators, just review what they do?
I think they deal with parking appeals. That's as far as I can get.
Like, actually,
You-
like,
you
I
were-
was on a rush.
Yeah.
You meet once a month, and it's like Kathy, you meet over in facilities, and it's like 2 faculty members, 2 staff members, or something, and there's 3 of us on the appeals committee. And it just like has what people are appealing, right? Yes or no.
thank you, that was
It's a lot of help. But we've been asked to fill it out, to fill out the committee as soon as possible. So you're interested?
Do you know what time goes on?
No, she'll probably set it up based on schedule. She was just asking for names right now.
Yeah.
So, yep.
We can add. Yes. Great.
That's 3 to
Fantastic. Well, then we'll send out an email about that and other ones after you guys fill out your approval. But I think that's really the only thing that you guys can give input for I think, today so far.
Just to clarify, Leonard, Allerape, and Keel, correct? Fantastic.
And just to clarify, the Google form for ad hocs has not been sent out?
Has not been sent, will be sent, and your responses will be noted. And you'll be just put in committees. We don't have to do a confirmation like this, just because they're not committees that are distinct, like written in our constitution, so we just appoint. So it's not as official as a resolution or anything. And also, there's going to be a section on there for committees that you guys are really interested in that aren't listed. Just so we can try to have you guys in something that you care about. Anything else in open discussion? CFO report.
Finance had their first meeting today, which I think brought some good discussion to our current financial predicament. So that went well. The meeting with Dr. Spindle and Deb went well last week, and we kind of have a game plan. In order to start working on this game plan, we will be setting up the GAP allocations committee, I think a bit earlier this year. So if there's any interest in joining that committee, it is made up of 6 students. So 2 of them will be myself and President Kessinger. Is there any interest in joining the GAP allocations committee? Perfect. Amazing. Okay. Well, then we will have some discussions and we will hopefully start working on the Senate portion of that committee soon. End of report.
Did you get everybody who was interested?
Did I made enough.
So, you did what?
I made enough of who were there.
All right.
You want to discuss about your meeting with Dr. Spindle?
Not that I would say pertains directly to the whole Senate at this point.
VP report.
So last week we had our first e-board meeting with all the committee chairs. Thank everyone for showing up to that, as so long as that time continues to work for everyone, we will continue to do that. To all committee chairs, as a quick note, so we don't have this issue with emails in the future, in the Gmail, if you could just go ahead and set your recovery email as the SA.president email. That way, it's very easy for us to change passwords and recover them in transitions from year to year. That'd be super awesome if you guys could just go ahead and do that. And if you don't know how to do that, we can do it at the e-board meeting tomorrow as well. In addition to that, for the committee chairs, also go ahead and send me the time times that you're finalizing for your committee meetings. That way I can make signage and have it posted on the outside of the student senate office. Because I don't believe we've discussed it yet for this year, but we are not going to be requiring senators to have posted office hours this year, because we do not think that that was necessarily the best way for office hours to be organized. Instead, we're going to have our committee meetings be posted as open office hours times to the Senate office. Because typically, if a student has a question or a concern, they're trying to direct it more to a committee than an individual senator usually. So that's our approach for this year. So I will be posting the committee meeting hours outside of the Senate office. End of report.
Any questions? Great. As far as my report goes, ad hocs, for people who were on Senate last year, only 4 of those ad hocs of all of, I guess, there were 17 last year, only 4 of those are ones run by Senate. That would be food service, parking improvement, rebranding, and safety and security. Parking improvement really wasn't that active of a ad hoc, so unless there's huge interest in continuing a parking improvement one this year, I think we can bring that up if it becomes pertinent as we go on. Rebranding is one we still need to staff. This is the last semester, so rebranding is a big one. Safety and security, of course, we want to keep that going, but just to hark back to previous Senate work, we have cameras that I think were just recently installed that I think the Safety and Security Committee could take up the mantle on understanding how that system works, if it is working, and everything. So those are just some ideas so far. Like I said, there's going to be, I think, 16 committees on the Google form. So please be responsive. I think that's all I have currently. Any questions? None? Fantastic. We're going fast. International report?
Yeah. A quick update, we have 24 new international students this semester, out of which 2 are exchange and 5 are undergrad. With that, the total number of international students is 111. And the second point is, I'll be in contact with the Ivanhoe International Center to send out a survey to all international students to get any feedback to present to the Senate.
Great. No questions? Veterans report?
Some veterans brought to me that they felt that the current ad drop date was a little too soon. 10 days after the semester, they didn't feel that there was enough time for them to adequately know how well they would be doing their classes and whether or not they should make the decision to add or drop that class. I asked a couple of them, like, what would feel more correct for you guys, and I said maybe 3 to 4 weeks, because then by that point they would have had a quiz or an exam or some sort of measurement of how they were doing. And I also asked, like, to let the other students know, and if there's any other suggestions, like, do you guys feel that the ad drop date was too soon?
Never thought of that.
I mean, they can still drop their classes and not get an F in that class until like halfway through the semester. But if you're adding a class 10 days after the semester starts, it's like, depending on your professor, it's like pretty much impossible to get caught up. So I think that the 10 days with no W on your report card, transcript, with no W on your transcript is like a pretty decent time. I feel like 2 weeks could be like 14 days, might make it a bit better, but yeah.
Okay. End of report.
I feel like on that line, it's more about being able to drop, because also with the military stuff in general, the government's not always clear about getting to you back in time how much money you're getting.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just need to drop class because you found out your money's not showing up. And that
drop a class after, that add drop date, but not for the, W date, then the chapter that I use, the military makes you pay back the amount of the class that you were in out of pocket. So that could be a beneficial thing to bring up for veterans.
Good point. Non-code report?
Nothing to report.
Graduate report.
The grad office is doing some promo stuff. They're looking for interviews. So reach out if you have a grad student that wants to do it.
I also heard that the grad office is trying to hire a grad student to help with writing.
Yes.
Have they found somebody? Do you have any idea?
No.
Yeah. Seems like a big job.
Sorry, President.
Yes.
So, I'm like 30 seconds late, but the veteran report. So the academic calendar, just so that everybody's aware, that's the same at all 6 DOR institutions. So whether you're a student at Northern, USD, or here. So if that conversation goes anywhere and you want to try to pursue having that be extended, probably the best route would be through Student Federation, which VP and President do sit on, because they would have the ear of the staff of the Board of Regents. But it wouldn't be anything, like even if President Rankin was here, he can't change that. It has to go to the board level.
No questions? No. We're going so fast, guys. Committee reports, Constitution.
As most of you know, I got off to somewhat of a rough start with a bike accident, but thankfully we went fine. We have not yet met as a committee to do that, get a date set, date and time set up pretty soon. In terms of goals for this company, I have 4 new organizations. They are Environmental Change and Sustainability Club, Kingdom Sports, Chess Club, which used to exist, it's been resurrected, and then Association of Technology Management and Applied Engineering. So I will be meeting with them sometime before next session, and you'll probably see this pretty soon in the report.
Any questions? PR.
We did attempt to meet this week, but there was literally no time that worked for all 3 of us. So we did an email meeting instead, and we are, first things first, working on getting the Pinkin problem for next week's end week football game going. I know that's a big deal and the big game. And then we're just going to divvy up the rest of it as we go along and keep chugging through the list of goals. My big goal for the year is Picton problems, trying to increase those other games, getting a definitive setup that we can bring along to fairs and presentations and shed and all that good stuff, using some of the funds we have for that. And then I'd like to try and do bi-weekly social media posts, at least, of some nature, shape, or form. So those are the big goals for the year, for PR.
Any questions?
And to my new member, I will reach out to you, AJ.
GR.
We're gonna start advertising freshman elections, signing up for those today, hopefully, and printing petitions, putting them out in the Senate office. We should meet tomorrow. We're gonna meet tomorrow. We're gonna discuss elections and other stuff, like a rough plan about what we want to do for this year, for this administration.
We don't have a planner anymore, so.
I need something printed in there,
Okay. So email him the little, that sign-up sheet.
Oh, yeah.
And we can get some printed. That way nobody has to pay with our precious credits.
Yeah.
SA.
We're gonna meet on Monday at 3 p.m. I'm in the works of getting a transition report by then, so I should know what I'm supposed to be doing. At eWard, Vice President Lewis brought up possibly having us send out the weekly emails to all of the schools instead of President Kessinger, so I'm I'm looking into that, and I've got like an example from a few years ago. So that's all.
Any questions? Upcoming Senate business. I think that the only big ones that we really have to care about are making sure that if freshmen mention to us that they want to be in Senate, that we tell them that they can, and that the day is September 27th. I think that's probably the biggest one. Announcements?
And everyone, 15 weeks till Christmas.
Any other announcements? Yes?
I would like to speak with my committee members after this.
This isn't really an announcement, you know that, but you know for doing, I remember last year, Senate did like a, what's the right word, reception for people at the career fair, you know, like the day before, you know if that's happening?
So I gave, Frank a link to all the senators for the Wiley's portion, so you'll probably see something from that, and I've not heard about any other potential receptions yet, but if we hear that, we'll let you know.
I guess we're also trying to figure out how to pay for headshots. We usually do those, and we go hard ways with, who's getting headshots? Yeah. Cal Beta Pi. We've gotten our price for this, and we just need to figure out how to pay. So that's coming down the pipeline also. Eventually there'll be a resolution for us to pay money for that, so we all can get great pictures of ourselves taken that we can then share with campus in the world.
Do we get to have those photos ourselves, or do they just go on the website?
In theory, I think we can get them. We
Cool.
didn't get them last year, but we can get them. That's all I have. Anything else? Any motions to adjourn?